This is Ravi Sai Bablu. Welcome to the podcast video of O2 Arena, the Millennium Dome. Today we are going to discuss about the project O2 Arena, the Millennium Dome. Me and my team, Elite, will guide the details of the project initial phase, planning, risks, budget, and execution and closing. As a project manager, today I am going to tell about the initial phase of the project. The project main aim is to create a unique and iconic structure of the Millennium Dome. The project has become the top-notch example for architecture and civil projects. The project got approved on 1997 and it got started on June 1997. After two years on 1999, it gets started on December 31st, 1999. It was started with an estimation of 758 million pounds, but later it went to 793 million pounds. In this, most of the funding comes from the government and some are from the public companies and some investors. The project followed a traditional project management approach which involves initiating, planning, executing, monitoring and closing. In the initial phase, it involves the scope of the project, view and stakeholders, setting the goals for the process to complete. And in planning phase, scheduling the various tasks and activities in the construction using visual representations. In this stage, team manages the timelines and deadlines by using visual representation. Executing, monitoring and closing. In this stage, we have gone through several ups and downs which are thoroughly addressed by the risk management techniques and also control to track the project progress and quality management, stakeholder management, and at last we did the perfect execution. The main aim of the Millennium Dome was to create the environment for all the activities and to increase the visitors to the nation. They have reached a unique mark in the construction department. The concept of Millennium Dome is to get experience of Millennium Dome exhibition, showcasing various themes related to various cultures and various human natures. The architect of this marvel was Richard Rogers, and the contracted company was a joint venture company called McAlpin-Liang Joint Venture, formed between Sir McAlpin and Liang Management, and the building structure was engineered by Bureau Happold. The key stakeholders for the Millennium Dome in the initial was UK government, which is responsible for the major funding and major stakeholder of Millennium Dome. Another stakeholders are Millennium Commission, which is responsible for distributing fundings, local authorities and communities, and also there are other stakeholders, corporate sponsors and private sponsors, architecture firms, content providers, media, legal regulatory authorities, etc. Now I am handing over to the scope and list, which will explain the detailed information of initial phase.
As a scope analyst for this project Millennium Dome, where I explore in and outs of the managing project scope for the success. Today, let's dive into the fascinating story of O2 Arena, showcasing the crucial role of scope management in mega project. The O2 Arena project faced many challenges in defining and managing its scope. As a scope analyst, my job is to align project scope with stakeholder goal and expectation. It's all begin through the stakeholder analysis, gathering data through marketing research, interviews, and the feasibility studies. High demand for entertainment venue in the London drawn the project forward, with nearly half of the city residents eager to attend the concert, sports event and exhibition. Scope statements became guiding tool and ensuring sharing understanding among the stakeholders from the start. But controlling such a large project was not easy. Task modifications like adding amenities to the hotel zone presented both opportunities and the challenges. The robust scope of verification and the control procedures were crucial. Reviewing and inspection helped to identify variations from the scope, while clarifying, defining control procedures managed changes effectively. When the stakeholders proposed adding features, a cost-benefit analysis determined feasibility within the project constraint. Scope management tool and the process were instrumental in the success of Project Millennium. Despite challenge and the shift, the project remained focused on delivering beyond the stakeholder expectation. The Millennium Dome project exemplifies why the scope management is essential for the mega project. Like O2 Arena attract millions of tourists and landing its place in London. As we conclude our exploration of O2 Arena project, it's evident that its success was not just construction a state-of-the-art entertainment venue. It was testament to the power of effective scope management in tackling challenges, navigating complexities, and exceeding stakeholder expectations. From its inspection, the O2 Arena project embodies a vision create more than just a venue. Its aim to become a cultural icon, entertainment in the heart of London. Today, O2 Arena stands as a testament to what can be achieved when a vision, determination, and the meticulous scope management coverage. It's not just a venue, it's a symbol of excellence, attracting millions of visitors each year, enrich cultural fabrics of London. As a scope analyst, let the story of O2 Arena inspire you to approach my and yours project with diligence, creativity, and relentless pursuit of excellence. Challenges and opportunities, communicating openly, collaborate passionately, and always strives for continuous improvement. To discuss further information, I hand over this project to Budget Manager. Thank you.
As a budget manager, the Millennium Dome venture is entrusted with ensuring that it adheres to its financial targets. Financial management was an uphill struggle because of the magnitude of the project. It required careful oversight on various fronts, such as construction expenses, marketing budgets, and most importantly, delivering quality work, while at the same time creating innovations that captivate visitors. To tackle these challenges head-on, a number of measures put in place, including detailed cost estimation and forecasting being among them. The study of historical information has been the basis for the budget setting exercise. Past expenditures changed over time and noted any consistent direction, as well as other patterns of spending that could be considered in the estimation process. For example, data from the other similar largest project, while taking into account variables such as material cost, labor rates, and regulatory requirements. This is due to the fact that the practical or on-hand method enabled us to establish a more reasonable budget, which catered for the anticipated fluctuation in the prices and even unforeseen changes. An important example of this practice was also at the inception of the construction cost estimation phase. Predicting the cost and the value of new complex facility can be difficult due to the lack of historical data. This can be estimated by comparing the cost and the value with similar stadiums and exhibition centers. It helps in effective planning to use available resources in an efficient way and reduce financial mismanagement risk. Despite all the preparations, challenges, and the problems were not avoided that had taken place during the project implementation. those which undermined the accuracy of the budgetary forecast. Late construction entails not only additional expenses but also on other aspects of the work. Also, in the same vein, stakeholders shifting priorities requires that reallocate the budgetary resources. Speedy adoption as the budget manager was necessary. Due to these challenges that needed solutions. This needed quick decision making so that their effects could be reduced for the overall budget. When a situation of the unforeseen was seen, it can be said that contingency reserves were also used to manage the unfortunate bad weather that brought about the significant delays in the completion of some crucial milestones. Moreover, after receiving the modification demands from the clients, it was managed to evaluate and determine if it would be stand at a loss or benefit after implementing such adjustments into the project budget. And as well, the project is expected to cost 758 million pounds in total, of which 399 million pounds will be provided by a grant from the Millennium Commission, one of the 5 distributors of the proceeds from the National Lottery. The lack of public attendance continued and the dome fell away below its projected break-even figure, costing a further 170 million pounds to remain open, and 88 million pounds was set aside to cover overspent eventualities, none of which were the resulting factor. Disagreements and the confusion on what was wanted and the plans that had started were terminated and changed, seeing creative director Stephen Bailey resigning from the project, and the Millennium Dome was already in depth before it opened. For further information, I will hand over this to Risk Manager.
Being the risk manager for the Millennium Dome, I had to ensure that all risks that could have an impact on its operation were properly identified, analyzed, and prevented from impeding its activities, as this would have reduced their standards of completion. In view of the magnitude and complexity of the project, it needed a robust and cohesive risk management approach, which would help to reduce uncertainties and increase opportunities at the same time. A comprehensive risk analysis was carried out with emphasis placed on all areas, including environmental considerations, political factors, as well as economic aspects. One such risk to be dealt with was construction delays based on climate factors that would occur on a regular basis for entire duration of the project. Historical climatic data from the Greenwich area was analyzed. So with this information in hand, preventive measures were implemented, such as prioritizing certain tasks during ideal weather conditions and allocating additional resources to offset any unforeseen setbacks. Another very critical risk that required some form of thorough analysis even after 750 million pounds budget is the likelihood of cost overruns. To know and identify cost drivers and potential areas for overspending, historical data from prior construction projects was studied. The results of statistical analysis showed that in the given industry, labor costs were mainly responsible for the cost overruns in similar projects. In order to reduce this risk, an extensive cost estimation system was established, using records of prior projects and industry standards to establish reasonable budgets for each stage. In addition, it was ensured that sufficient contingency funds were kept aside to deal with unforeseen expenses throughout the project. The risk register had two significant risks, which are the failure in stakeholder management and the stakeholder reaction could be negative. The Millennium Dome was a project with great visibility and symbolism, so it was necessary to foresee the deal with any negative aspect or opposition from the stakeholders and the general public. To determine the degree of resistance towards the project among people, various public opinions, polls, and surveys were undertaken. Some segments of the population are extremely skeptical and opposed to this project. Developing a communication plan which would enable stakeholders to feel that their needs are being addressed and they are a part of the process, was done to manage the issue. Here, the means employed to enhance openness and dialogue encompass town hall meetings, social media channels, and outreach programs aimed at serving local communities. During risk management activities, one should remember that these are not events but processes that require constant control and review throughout the project's lifespan. Yet again, monitoring was used as a way of determining risks. An ongoing process of risk assessment was implemented to identify and update necessary countermeasures in view of the changing risks and opportunities that arose throughout the project. In addition, while undertaking the project, new risks like supply chain disruptions and changes in legislations were also found. The qualification of the probability and impact of these risks on the project was done using historical data and industry benchmarks. As a result, measures were taken to avoid any negative consequences from multiple sources of supplies and to track regulatory changes that might hamper the project's success. To discuss further details, I would like to hand over this to the quality manager. Thank you.
Hello everyone and welcome to this podcast. I'm here today to talk about the iconic O2 Arena in London. Not for a concert, but to talk about something equally important. My name is Taranpal Singh Pasricha and I am the quality manager with a passion of ensuring excellence in everything we do. Whether it's the world-class events hosted here at O2 Arena or the products and services we use in our everyday lives, quality matters. In this podcast, we will be deep diving into the world of quality management. Well, we will explore what it means to deliver high quality experiences, the challenges we face in achieving them, and the tools and techniques we can use to ensure consistent excellence. My role was instrumental, where I had the responsibility to ensure that the end product met all needs and surpassed stakeholders' expectations in terms of excellence, quality. This was made possible by developing strict performances, indicators, and reliable quality goals. For the initiation stage, also the data generated on this project reveals the effectiveness of quality management strategies used during this project. For example, regular audits of works carried out at different stages. Have detected potential deviations, allowing timely implementations of corrective measures. These proactive measures have been shown to sustainably lessen the incidence of rework, which is time and cost consuming. Again, the loop feedback system made continuous refinements of project processes, components possible from inception up to conclusion with commendable finality. The latter led to increased quality levels as well as greater level of effectiveness, notable in the act of quality management seen in the building of the dome. Despite its colossal magnitude and intricate detailing, the process was completed with an unmatched level of precision. A study on analysis of construction related metrics like material used, assembly time, etc. confirmed how well functionalized quality assurance departments yield safe structures. Apart from compiling with technical standards, stakeholders' satisfaction topped the priority list of quality manager. The results of satisfaction surveys for clients made at the end of project were highly appreciative, which shows that the final product were beyond the prescribed and even exceeded expectations. This achievement confirms how critical it is to create an environment of excellence and responsibility within all project parties. Similarly, the development of an innovation and learning culture in the whole team was highly supported by quality managers. When we adopt new technologies and encourage creativity in the problem-solving approach, it enables the project team to go beyond limits we all have thought could be reached. A good case is how using such materials as top-of-the-line carbon fiber reinforced concrete and sustainable design methods did not only improve the project's quality but also set a bar of other construction projects that will come in future years. To summarize, the overall success of the Millennium Dome, which is now O2 Arena, project can be attributed to effectively qualitative management methods. Setting definite goals, putting into effect proper quality assurance mechanisms, and maintaining a culture of constant advancement, where the contributing factors to the team being able to produce an end result that surpass stakeholder satisfaction levels by fulfilling them accurately with respect to quality and value.
The Millennium Dome faced many risks and difficulties and also faced financial pressure. While the project is going on with respect to, they have been reissuing the project budget and all. But after all the difficulties and financial struggles, inflation and environmental effects, the project managed to complete and opened on the last day of the century, 31st December 1999, with a grand opening ceremony and with the presence of Queen. Later on, after 1 year of great performance, it attracted 6.5 million visitors throughout the year, but failed to cross the financial goals, which the targets and financial pressures are too high at the initial stage. That leads to proposal for the auction, and the dome and the surrounding land was bought by Meridian Delta, who began the process of converting into entertainment venue, which we are viewing today. They acquired the dome on the lease of 999-year lease, and then on 2002, Meridian subleases the dome to AEG, which is American Entertainment Company. They turned dome into successful venue in which 15% of its profits go to the UK government. In 2020 COVID pandemic, O2 has turned to be a field hospital, and O2 played its part as a training center for medical staff. The venue closed till 2021. After that, it has successfully started again, and in 2023 it has record selling of 2.5 million arena tickets, which is record breaking compared to previous 2.3 million tickets sold in 2022. And also recently, O2 Arena takes step to deliver the world's first carbon remote concerts in the collaboration with CUR8 services, which they will charge 90p levy per ticket to cover the cost of CUR8 services to pull out the carbon from the sky. Here I conclude that O2 Arena Millennium Dome is the biggest marvel that to be remembered in the human race, with impeccable architecture and technology. Thank you, Atif sir, from all my team members, for giving us podcast opportunity to do the project on this architecture marvel. Thank you.